You may have noticed your study partners, or at least your male study partners, have gotten much hairier over the past few weeks. Beards have been declared fashionable nowadays, but I think the glasses are too simple and perhaps the pants a little bit too loose or not tight enough to be truly a hipster anywhere here, despite all the Brooklyn accents. What's going on? The Talmud explains that we are mourning the death of the students of a man named Rabbi Akiva, the son of Joseph. As a sign of mourning, we ban weddings, celebratory music, and haircuts for approximately a month after the holiday of Passover. I'd like to spend a few minutes discussing this event, how it affected and continues to affect us, and what we can learn from it. Rabbi Akiva lived in Israel, or Judea as it was known, during the tumultuous times surrounding the destruction of the Second Temple in Jerusalem. He was born approximately 30 years before the destruction. As a young man, he was illiterate, mostly uneducated, and earned his subsistence livelihood as a shepherd. His fortune changed one day when he caught the eye of the landowner's daughter. She saw his potential, but alas, her father did not, and her father disowned the young couple. Rabbi Akiva's wife convinced him to attend school, where he learned to read alongside his son. His diligence and potential were not underestimated by his wife, and he experienced a meteoric rise through the ranks of the academy. A few decades after first entering the school, after swallowing his pride and learning to read alongside his children, he had amassed 24,000 loyal students, and his father-in-law forgave him. With a population of 2.5 million people living in Judea at that time, these were the real, literally 1% of the population. They were the educators of the generation and those charged with transmitting Judaism to the next generation in the unbroken chain from Moses, from Revelation of Sinai until where we are nowadays. Sounds like a fairy tale ending, but that was not meant to be. Towards the end of Rabbi Akiva's long life, a plague swept through Judea. A plague of both the sword and the microbe. An epidemic killed every single one of the approximately 100-year-old Rabbi Akiva students. And in response to a revolt against Roman rule, Hadrian's crack troops were recalled from Great Britain, or what would become Great Britain, and massacred over 25% of the population of Judea. This massacre, this slaughter, was so demoralizing for Hadrian's soldiers that it was not even celebrated in Rome. You can only imagine what it felt like for us on the other end of that sword. To add insult to injury, Rome renamed Jerusalem Alia Capitolina and renamed Judea Palestine. While most commentaries focus on the different reasons as to why the students of Rabbi Akiva may have met the untimely demise, I would like to focus on another aspect. What did Rabbi Akiva do according to the Talmud? What does a centenarian rabbi do at this stage after his academy disappears? The Talmud states that Rabbi Akiva moved south, which is what many of us would like to do. But it wasn't in retirement. He moved south to rebuild. He amassed a couple of students and started his academy went over. The Talmud applies to him or to paraphrase the verse in Ecclesiastes written by King Solomon, in the morning sow your seeds, but in the evening do not rest your hands, because you cannot know which seeds will make it. The seeds you planted in the morning, which in Rabbi Akiva's case did not make it, or the seeds planted in the evening, which in this case did. These 5 students started all over, and practically all of the Jewish texts we have in this room somehow connect to those 5 students of Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Joseph Soloveitchik, noted Jewish leader, teacher, philosopher, wrote in Kol Dodi Dofek, the Jewish response to tragedy is not one of despair. The Jewish response to tragedy is one of action. We are good at mourning. The world does not mourn the loss of ancient knowledge when the Romans pillaged Alexandria and burned down his library. But we are still mourning the loss of those 24,000 educators, those 24,000 potential leaders. Just look at our beards. But that is not the focus of Judaism. Do not look at the beard. Rather, while we mourn, we must remind ourselves to be inspired by Rabbi Akiva's teaching. Be inspired by Rabbi Akiva's tenacity, his refusal to give up and retire. We must be inspired to learn, to study, to grow throughout our lives, no matter the hardship. While I am not an active member of C2C, I would like to thank all of you for inspiring me and the community at large, for your commitment to continued growth, coming here every single Tuesday despite any inconvenience. May we all continue to be inspired by our history and continue to find opportunities and to seek out opportunities to grow throughout our lives, knowing that that is our history and that is a legacy that we have the fortune and the responsibility as well to continue. Thank you.